Okay, so the next part of our notes involves isolating a given variable, which just means getting that variable by itself. So you want to do everything you can to try to get, in this situation, x by itself, and in the number 2, we're going to get b by itself. And a lot of times that involves factoring, which is why we teach factoring before we do this. So I want to get all of my x's on the same side since I want to try to isolate x. Right now it doesn't really help me that they're on different sides. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides. So that means it'll go away over here, and I'll end up with 9x minus 2xy equals 5y plus 7y squared. Now ideally I would like to get the y's together, but this y is attached to this x, and that's going to be kind of difficult. So what I'm going to do instead over here to try to get x by itself is, I've got these 2 x's. I really want that to just be 1x. And the best way to do that is to factor it out, because it's a greatest common factor for both of these terms. So if I take x out, then I'm left with 9 minus 2y equals 5y plus 7y squared. And then what I can do is divide this part over here out, since it doesn't have an x in it. So x equals 5y plus 7y squared all over 9 minus 2y. So then my x is by itself. So don't be afraid to try factoring in order to get a variable alone. It's going to be the same idea over here. We want to get b by itself, but right now you have 2 variables that have b in them. So what I'm going to do is there's one of 2 things you could do. You could go ahead and factor out your b over here, or if you want to, you could take this whole denominator and multiply it out to the other side. So think about it this way. We have 5a divided by 3b plus ab. How do we undo division? We multiply, right? So we would multiply both sides by 3b plus ab squared, or 3b plus ab. Another thing I like to think about is, for those of you that play soccer, I like to think of somebody, like a soccer player, coming in and kicking this bottom out, and he kicks it out to the other side so that it lands right next to the 14 and the 5a drops down, right? It's kind of like Jenga. When you pull the bottom out from Jenga, the top drops down. So if I multiply 3b plus ab out to the other side, I have 5a equals 14 times 3b plus ab. Okay, so what you can do now is you can factor out a b from right here if you want to. You could also multiply the 14 in if that makes you feel better. But right now, technically 14 is kind of factored out of it. So we're gonna leave it there. So 5a equals 14, and then I'm gonna factor the b out of here. So it's gonna go with the 14, and I'm left with 3 plus a. So now what I can do is divide both sides by everything that's not b. So I have 14 times b times 3 plus a. So I can do 5a over 14 times 3 plus a equals b. So everything that wasn't b got divided onto the other side. And there's your answer, just like that. Avoid the temptation of trying to cancel out these a's right here. They don't cancel because this a is being added and this a is being multiplied. All right, so try 3 and 4 on your own, and then use the next slide to check your work.